Seriously, seriously. I've been waiting. I've been shaking like, is he not going to join me today? Am I going to miss it again?
Well, I've got a little guy here. Every
Okay.
day I say good morning to him. He's a gremlin, and gremlins always attack us when we're on these podcasts. And
Okay.
so I say good morning to him. And when I do, he really doesn't give me any harm. But if I don't say good morning to him, he comes back and gives me all sorts of nasty stuff. And I think that's what happened to us the last time.
Seriously, I was, I felt really down. I was like, oh no, I have not missed it again. No, the network here
Well,
sometimes,
the problem is I'm often booked to back.
yeah.
So if we miss our window, then I have to reschedule.
This is beautiful. The first time I had an international guest like this on Momsiba Talks Daily podcast, it gave me a different notion. He was a very prominent man as well, but this happened, this same thing that happened between us happened, and that was it. I kept on calling him, please, let's do this again. He says, no, it doesn't work with such persons. It wasn't my fault, it was network. And he was like, no, 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 he can't work with me. And I felt so bad because a lot of people were in the waiting room, audience willing to hear from him. But Sir Dr. Allen, you really changed everything. The notion I had, the fear I had, today you just elevated everything, and I'm happy.
Well, and we could always be worried about the what ifs. We could always be worried about all sorts of things. But the good things is the positive is always there. I always think you should think of the positives, not the negatives.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful and inspiring episode of the Momsiba Talks Daily podcast. Today, we'll be unpacking a very, very interesting topic, the 13 pearls to an extraordinary life. Wondering how it is to have an extraordinary life or how it happens? Here in Momsiba Talks Daily podcast today, we believe in extraordinary life, and we know that it doesn't happen accidentally, but it is built intentionally, one decision, one lesson, and one courageous step at a time. I am incredibly honored to introduce to us our important guest who will be taking us on this topic, Sir Dr. Alan Lyncka. You're welcome, sir, to the Momsiba Talks Daily podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It is my privilege for being here today.
Okay, I reference him father. And instead of calling him Dr. Allen, I'll be calling him Father Allen Linker. It will interest you and I to know today that this is not just an ordinary episode. Okay, this is not a script. This is not just those normal podcasting. To me, it is a personal mentorship class because I choose to share this with my audience and I want the world to learn what I'll be learning from Sir, Father, Dr. Allen. So I drop the seat of the host and take the position of a student to a mentor and a child to a father. Before we dive right into today's class, I would love you to take up your jotting pads. Join me on a 30 minutes walk with Father Alan Linker. Let's understand who the wisdom behind this topic is, his achievements, his country, everything we need to know about him from maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So I give you the stage.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Dr. Alan Lycka. I am a medical doctor. I used to practice skin medicine or dermatology, and I led the field for almost 30 years.
Over to
I
you.
was very well known in that field. But, in 2003, I developed a right foot drop, and
Okay.
my right hand became a problem. And I went to see a world leading neurologist, and he told me, get my affairs in order. I have 6 months to live.
Yeah.
You know, what would you do, Munzabi, if somebody told you you have 6 months to live?
Hmm. I'm gonna break down and everything is just gonna look so confusing at the very first time.
Yeah, and I went through that confusion. I went through anger. I was angry at the world. I could have bit the head off nails. I was angry at my wife. I was angry at my children. I was angry at my dog. I was angry at my staff. But I couldn't tell them what was going on, or they might desert me. You
Hmm.
know, I went through bargaining. I said, God, please don't let this happen. I'll do anything if you don't let this happen.
Yeah.
But I didn't think God was listening to me back then. Then I went through denial.
Denial.
Denial. You know, I denied what was going on. I
Hmm.
said, look, there's nothing wrong. I have a right foot drop. But when my right hand became involved, I knew something was involved more. And you know what a right handed surgeon does when he can't use his right hand?
Yeah.
He becomes a left handed surgeon. I practiced 10,000 times, so my left hand was as good as my right hand. I even learned to write with my left hand,
Hmm.
which is a very difficult thing. And then you go through depression.
Depression.
Mumzabi, have you ever been depressed?
Hmm.
Depression is terrible. Everything is black. You can't eat. You can't sleep. You stay in bed all day. And why should you get up? You're going to die anyhow. You know, everything is awful. Everything. I call those the black days because everything is
Black
black.
days. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I wasn't going to die drowning in my secretions like I've seen other people do with my condition. I was told I had ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and given 6 months to live. So, it's terrible when you're diagnosed with that and you know there's no future. But I went to my wife and I said to my wife, what do I have? She said, I have no idea, but you don't have ALS. She said, you will figure it out. And I said, how can I figure it out? I've
Hmm.
seen every doctor I've known. She said, perhaps you haven't seen the right doctor yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what I said to her is, uh, I'll figure it out. And back then in 2003, something new was invented. It's
Hmm.
called the internet. Ever
Yeah.
hear of that, Mumzabi? But back then it was primitive. You had to put your phone on a cradle and it would go ria, ria, ria for at least 15 minutes. And when you got to the other side, you were able to surf. But the internet was much like it is now. It was primitive. It was like there's the world's best resources and garbage cans everywhere. And you can't tell the garbage cans from the resources. So I had friends that helped me search.
Okay.
And I found a doctor in Colorado Springs, Colorado, by the
Okay.
name of Dr. David Martz. And David was going through the same thing I was,
Hmm.
but he was getting worse much more rapidly. He was on his deathbed
Hmm.
within minutes of his diagnosis, within hours of his diagnosis. And doctors from around the world were coming to say goodbye to David.
Whoa.
And one doctor came up and said, David, I don't think you have ALS. He said, what do I have? The doctor said, I think you have chronic Lyme's disease.
Hmm.
You've been bitten by a tick and it's mimicking ALS. So David said, what do I do? The doctor said, nothing. I'll start you on treatment. And if I'm right, you'll get better.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, he was like Lazarus arising from the dead. So I
Hmm.
knew I had to call David. And I got in touch with him at the Methodist Hospital in Colorado Springs. and we talked for hours. And he invited me to come down, and I did. And that's when magic happened. He said, I think history is repeating itself.
Itself.
And so he started me on treatment. And that's why I'm here today in 2026, still living and loving and still helping everybody.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, so beautiful. So, before we talk about the real thing of today, which is the 13 pearls, because I've been really, waiting to know what those 30 pearls are. Let's start with the extraordinary thing, extraordinary life. When people hear the phrase extraordinary life, what first come to the top tiers of their mind should be wealth, should be fame, should be power, should be influence, recognition, and all those. So I want
And
to
it's
know
none of those things. It's purpose, it's passion and
purpose.
possibilities.
Okay,
It's three P's: purpose, passion, and possibilities.
possibility.
Those are the three things that an extraordinary life is about.
Okay, okay. Beautiful. So, so beautiful. And okay, let's just dive. We'll still come back to this. So when we're talking about the 13 pills, because I want to run this up. It's just it's 30 minutes things, and there's already 5:17 here. What are the 13 pills? I don't just want you to list them further. I want you to tell me the principle behind these 13 pills, one after
Well,
the other, where I jot them down.
the first principle is this: it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens.
Okay,
Every day you have a choice to decide what happens, and you get an opportunity to choose what you do, what you think, what you know. And that's the most important thing. You have to use that choice wisely, because if you don't, you will never live that extraordinary, fantastic life.
okay. All right. So the
So let's
first,
go through the 13 pearls.
okay,
Number one, love.
love.
Love is the most important one.
Okay.
Where would we be today if we didn't have love? If we didn't have love of our mother? If we didn't have love of our father? If we didn't have love today, we will have nothing. So love is very important.
Okay. Okay. Number two,
Inspiration. The
inspiration
word inspiration is very important. It means from the spirit.
from the
And
spirit.
that's what it does. You get inspired, you get life breathed into you.
Okay.
The third one is victory. You
Victory.
choose victory, you thrive for victory. You're either victorious or you're nothing. That doesn't mean you win every game, but
Okay.
it means you try to win every game.
Okay. Okay.
The fourth is vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability is what makes everything magic. You have to be vulnerable in order to love. You have to be vulnerable in
Okay.
order to live.
Okay.
Number five, intention or purpose. Remember, I said there's three P's: purpose, passion, and possibilities.
Yeah.
Purpose is very important.
Okay.
Number six are non negotiables. Everybody should have non negotiables in their life.
Number six is
For
what?
me, non negotiables, non
Non-negotiable.
negotiables.
Okay.
In other words, you have to have certain things in life you will never negotiate on.
Okay.
Number seven, forgiveness. Forgiveness is very important. You know, if you don't forgive, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Hmm.
Forgiveness. Number 8 is attitude.
Attitude.
Our attitude determines our aptitude.
Hmm.
Attitude. Number 9, thankfulness. Should be thankful for everything we have. We should be grateful for everything we have. Number 10, tenacity. You
Tenacity.
should be tenacious. If you get knocked down 9 times, you should get up 10.
Of course, Jesus Christ did.
Exactly. Number 11 is laughter. Never take yourself so seriously that you can't laugh. Number 12, enthusiasm. You have to be enthusiastic. If you do nothing, enter every conversation and with enthusiasm. You'll win most conversation. You'll win most games that way, just by being enthusiastic. And number 13 is empowerment.
Oh, man.
Be empowered. Those are the 13 golden pearls. And each one of them has a chapter in my book, The
Okay.
Secrets to Living a Fantastic Life. And there's a little story that leads it off.
Okay. Beautiful. I'm trying to, be fast with this. The Secret to Living a Fantastic Life. Okay, book by Sir Dr. Allen. All right. So looking at the non-negotiables, I don't know. You said there are certain things that we should not negotiate in life.
Well,
Can
for
you
me,
tell what are those
there's
things?
certain things for me are my family. You know, I always put my family first on the list of things that I
Okay.
have to do.
You
So
prioritize your
my
family first.
family is first. Family is first. Always will be first and always the most important.
Some
So,
people prioritize their businesses, their success level, fans and
well,
colleagues more than
at
their
the
family.
at the end of the day, no one's going to say I should have spent more time at the office. You know, no one is ever going to say that. So why should you put so much time and precedence at being in the office? It
Hmm.
doesn't work that way.
Okay. All right. So number one is family first. Prioritize your family. Are there any other non-negotiables?
I am a very spiritual person. I believe firmly in God. I
Okay.
firmly believe in what he does for me.
Yeah.
And so I always try to prioritize his thoughts in my life and what he wants me to do.
Okay. Beautiful. So, guys, we are still on Momziba Talks Daily podcast, and this is really, so interesting. I really wish it's more than 30 minutes, but yeah, I know that Father, Dr. Allen will still be giving me the opportunity sometime again later so that we can have, I don't know, I want to grab the wisdom he has. In fact, when I opened his portfolio, till now I haven't finished going through it. I must confess. I would take a day, maybe a week, maybe a month to still go through it because it's really fascinating. Really. So, Father, if you were to take yourself back, like imagine yourself like me now, take yourself back to when you were smaller, when you've never knew anything about all the spells you've listed. What is that one thing that you would tell your younger self?
You know, I'd say never give up trying.
Never give up
You know,
trying. Okay. Never.
life is going to knock you down or try to knock you down. But if you keep on going and keep on trying, you will always, uh, always have purpose and always move forward.
All right.
You know, Viktor Frankl wrote a book called The Ascent of Man. And Viktor Frankl was in a terrible place in his life. He was in a Nazi concentration camp. Yet he never gave up hope. He never gave up purpose. he never gave up trying.
Okay.
And that's why he survived the Nazi concentration camp.
All right.
And
Okay.
I think you can make heaven out of hell and you can make hell out of heaven. And you should always try to make it the best situation possible.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Father Alan. I really enjoyed this moment. You have listed more than 13 pearls. You gave me something to reflect on. You gave me something to question. You gave me something to practice on. Thank you so much because an extraordinary life isn't built through extraordinary a moment. It is built through taking ordinary decision and making it a consistent thing. Thank you so much to every listeners. The question you should have as after now is not really how should I live an extraordinary life, but who do I become? Who do I need to become to live the life that I was meant to live? Thank you so much. So, audience, this podcast is open for guest hosting. Should the case you have something you want to say, and it will interest you to know that Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast has another arm, the Mom Ziba Spotlight, where we talk about people's business. And then if you want to sign up for sponsorship, God has laid it in your heart because you see Mom Ziba is doing this out of passion to impact the world. Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast covers over 10 countries by the grace of God. This is an organic reach. It's not a paid thing. So you see that Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast has a lot that it gives to people and people hear from. So if God has laid it to your heart to support this program, you want to sponsor it and as well promote what you do, you can reach me via my email at momziba, spelled as MUMZIBAHH @gmail.com. So tomorrow we are going to be having another interesting guest. She is a popular actress from San Francisco. She wrote to Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast and she's going to be gracing us. She's going to be taking us through the topic Beyond the Spotlight. Please save the date. Thank you so much for joining me. And we are going to be having another USA official, ex official on the August 28th. And it's going to be gracing Mom Ziba Talks Daily Podcast. Mom Ziba, a friend to many. Thank you so much for joining me. Till next time, keep on staying blessed. Sir Dr. Allen, where can they reach you in case they want to know more about you and learn more about your wisdom?
Two places. My website is drallen.com. That's
Okay.
DRALLEN, Lycka, LY as in yellow, CKA.com.
Thank you so
Also,
much.
if
Okay.
you'd like to get a free hour of my valuable time, write my assistant, Tammy, TAMI, at Lycka, LY as in yellow, CKA.ca.
All
Love
right.
to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Father. I think we'll be having this some other time. I know when I write to you, you'll give me some of your valuable time sometime in future.
Love to do that.
Thank you. My regards to your family. God bless you, sir.
Bye for now.
Bye.